Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Satan and Coffee. I am, of course, Atius Dade, and with me today is Kristof Bathory from Dawn of Ashes. Friend of the channel, personal friend, and just all around interesting individual, good person. And for those of you that know me, you know that I don't have shit people in my camp. So that's to say something. What we're going to be talking about today, we got quite a bit of stuff to talk about today. We're going to be dismantling a lot of shit. We've been talking quite a bit for like the last half an hour about a lot of stuff, and it's going to be fun. So we are going to be talking the left-hand path. We're going to be talking Dawn of Ashes' new music, Kristof's projects, what he's got going on. Kristof, how's it going, man?
Good. Just sipping an energy drink.
Yep.
But it's not coffee, so it doesn't really fit the
It doesn't fit
show.
The show, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I always say this like when I start the show, like when I'm talking to a guest, like, you know, for 15, 20 minutes before we start the show, it's always weird for me starting the show and then like asking you again, like, hey, how's it going? Like, you know, like we weren't just like talking for like the last 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah, I'm doing okay since the last 15 minutes ago or whatever.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I cut you off.
You go ahead.
Right. So
Nah.
what I kind of want to start with, because it's kind of like the meat and potatoes of everything here, right? And we'll get into how it ties into the left-hand path a little bit later. So don't worry, guys. It is still going to be a left-hand path based conversation. We are going to have that focus. But you know, the purge, like you and I talked in like maybe like about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, about you kind of like just nuking, like just completely deleting from existence some of your old shit. And let's talk about where'd that come about.
One thing lately with DOA, I've been rebranding, and it sounds kind of bizarre coming from my mouth because I was so firmly against this idea. But after the Crypt Injection 1, there was the whole complete change to the extreme metal thing. And a lot of fans were really upset about it. And I lost a lot of the core foundation of fans and kind of alienated where DOA started with the whole dark electro or agritech, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I was so incredibly stubborn back then. It's like, I was so into a certain type of music that I'm like, fuck all this stuff. I'm going to change DOA and make it this. And it was really a really poor decision. And I wish I could now go back then and be like, what are you doing? It was this bad. Not to say that good opportunities came from it, a lot of good opportunities came for it, but I don't really feel like it was the authentic side of DOA. And I wrote a lot of music. And I remember a point in my life with certain albums where I just felt like a very juvenile human being. And the lyrics and everything was just so try hard. It's so cringy to me now. and it was a really bad point in my life, really bad era. And so some stuff that I hear, it kind of brings current me back to that place. And, I listen to the lyrics and I'm like, ugh, what was the fuck was I thinking? And I think I mentioned to you earlier, it's like going back and you go to Facebook memories and you see these posts from back in the day. And they're so cringy that it makes your skin hurt. So there's just certain material that I just can't connect with emotionally. The lyrics are just so try hard. And so lately I've been just trying to rebrand DOA and bringing back the whole dark electro agrotech thing. And for years I've been so into writing electronic music and ambient music and using hardware synthesizer and modular gear that when I made that first attempt at the whole dark electro thing again, I don't know, it was just so much more enjoyable to me. And now I have these lyrical ideas that are more real, more authentic. I could connect with it more. So some stuff I just kind of took down because I just couldn't connect with it anymore. And it's not stuff we would ever play ever again. And I know a lot of artists are like that. They go back and they're like, this is not really acceptable. There's just lyrical content that I don't think is acceptable. I think I was just like being an edgelord and trying to be offensive, and I'm not being that whole PC person, but I don't think it's cool. So I don't know.
Well, I
It
mean,
makes any
I think
sense.
no, it does. I mean, I don't think personal evolution, is akin to being a politically correct. You know what I mean? It's just understanding that you're having an evolution of self. It's almost like, I mean, I don't want to say it's akin to an ego death. I mean, because you're not crunched up on the couch like in the fetal position, but it has elements to that, right? It's like understanding that, like, okay, this was made, but this is so far outside of what and who I am today that I don't want it attached to me, right? It's the same reason why we stop friendships, right? Like we refuse to be friends with certain people because there's a certain level of toxicity that we just don't want in our circle. We don't want it around us. And if you can do that with people, then I see no reason why you can't do that with something that you yourself created. So
I'll
no,
give you I'll give you a good example. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go for it.
You see these motivational speakers like ex gang members or ex neo-Nazi individuals who go to these meetings to talk about their old lives, and they're kind of getting out of that, and then when they leave, they're still like a target to people because they were once something, and it's so hard for them to kind of break out of that. And there's certain things that, like lyrical content that I put in some of the older Dawn of Ashes stuff that I don't really want people to identify me that way. So I kind of just disconnect from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole like edgelord thing, I feel like it's like such a thing right now. It's just like to see like how to push the limits with there being no substance behind it. And I can't stand that anymore.
No, I mean, I
Like,
agree.
to me, sure, music's important, but the bands that I really connect with are the ones who have actually like legit lyrics. And if it's
Mm-hmm.
just stuff that's just kind of like a bunch of nonsense just to piss people off, I'm kind of like, I'm good. Um, so yeah, and honestly, it's not even just my own music. It's like other music I used to listen to. There's some stuff I'm just like, I don't know if I can really like get into this anymore.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I talked about that maybe a couple of weeks ago, where I was telling you, like, even like with me, like when it comes to my music, like the music that I like to listen to, like lyrics, like I'm so obsessed with the lyrical like aspect of music, and like I won't listen to bands like Cannibal Corpse or 6 Feet Under or like Infant Annihilator or anything like that because I can agree that sonically, musically, there are things that I like about Cannibal Corpse, 6 Feet Under, and all of those bands. But once the
Right.
vocals start, I'm just like, it just ruins the whole fucking experience for me. I can't do it. Like, I can't get past that first minute of the song. Like there's that intro part. After that, I can't do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of that way, and I guess I thought about it for a while. I'm like, well, so what is acceptable? Like, where do you draw the line? Because I know people. I know if there was like a band, if all their lyrics were about racism and killing black people or something like that, people would fucking flip the shit. And then the band would be like, oh, it's just fantasy, but people would not accept it.
Yep.
And same with gay people or if it was like a pro-Trump thing, like, people would flip the fuck out. So why are these other topics acceptable? That's where I started thinking. I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, it may be fantasy, but why is that cool, but that's not? Does that make
Double
sense?
standard. Yeah, it's a double
So,
standard. I mean, it's
um,
when you're talking about pure violence and shit like that. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, maybe I'm a bit of a hypocrite because, like, I also listen to hip hop, and one of my favorite, I don't want to say favorites, but
me
one
too.
artist I do.
I
Uh,
it's like me too. I love Eminem and stuff like that, but I don't know. With some hip hop, I can't really take it seriously because it's kind of goofy. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
It's like I
Yeah.
listen to like Red Men and Ludacris, and it's like you can't really take it fucking seriously. It's like so.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like watching like Friday, next Friday or something like that. But I don't know. When it comes to other subjects, it's kind of like I don't really know if it's like a joke.
Yeah, that definitely leaves something to be wondered. I mean, so like where I was saying that, like, I feel like I'm maybe somewhat of a hypocrite when it comes to the violence in music. One of the hip hop artists or rap artists that I enjoy listening to on occasion is a guy named Skits Craven. He does something that's called horrorcore rap, and he plays this character Skits, which is a serial killer in his music. And though I what I found interesting when I first found him was like I like horror movies, right? And like if you watch his videos and you listen to the music, it's almost like giving a soundtrack to like Silence of the Lambs or some shit, because it follows along that like it's very horror movie centric. Um, but for some reason, like when I hear something like from like Cannibal Corpse or something like that, I'm just like, dude, what are you even fucking talking about? Like, like with
Right.
Skits, he at least talks about the psychology of it. He's like, he talks about like the mental health aspect of it. He's like talking about going to therapy, trying to get help. The therapist doesn't work. People don't take him seriously, like in this world, in this realm of, stuff. And, I feel like there's more substance to it. Like it's not just the violence. It's not just the gore aspect of it, the horror aspect of it, but there's a psychological aspect to it that makes it more creative. Cannibal Corpse or 6 Feet Under, it's like, I mean, for fuck's sake, just listen to Hammer Smash Face. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck's the point?
Well, it's the same thing. Like, you know, I'm a huge horror fan too. Huge horror fan. There's a difference between watching, you know, John Carpenter's The Fog versus a Serbian film. I will never ever watch a Serbian film.
I made the mistake
I'm
of watching
so against it.
Oh God,
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
it's
know what it
fucking
was. Yeah, it is. It's I
yeah,
regret watching it.
I would
I can't.
never ever fucking watch that movie. So, you know, there's a difference. You take a movie like, you know, like Jacob's Ladder, you know what I mean? It's has substance in it. What that movie doesn't have substance to it. It's just fucking that whole thing, that edgelord shock bullshit. You know, it's fucking lame.
Yeah, no, it
So
is. Oh God, such. Don't watch it, guys. If you haven't watched a Serbian film, don't watch. I'm like, and I know, like, it's almost like telling you don't push the red button. It makes you want to push the red button. But I legitimately wish that I never watched that movie. And it's not
right,
even that it's like really gory or anything like that. That's not what it is.
it's just morally
It's
fucked up.
yeah, it is. It's just like there are things in that movie that will forever. Like I don't even think if I had dementia that I would forget certain things in that fucking movie, and it's disturbing as shit. So yeah, don't watch it.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's not like I've lost my edge. I'm still a fucking angry asshole that I just have better things to write about now. And I don't know, like but the difference is I'm not trying hard. This is like being authentic. It's being real. I'm not trying to, you know, push buttons.
Right.
Like I shouldn't have to try. That's like the whole thing. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does completely. So there's something, and I don't know. I've never asked you this in like our one-on-one conversations, but I guess I'll ask it now. Would you
Right.
consider your last three albums kind of like Dawn of Ashes' version of their triptych almost? Like, especially because of the naming convention that you used with the last three albums, all focusing on kind of like scarification and, you know, things like that. Like, would you consider that like a triptych? They're connected to each other, obviously, right?
Yeah. Um, I think they're all like the three of them. Well, they're all various stages of different psychosis, and they are definitely all personal in different ways. And I feel like it's different stages of things I have gone through in my own head. Um, and the reason why I love Silent Hill so much, the games, is that I don't know if you know this, but all the creatures in that are different pieces of the character's mental health. And when it's basically the character's slipping into like a darkness, it's like
Mm-hmm.
so the whole thing is psychological. And and Silent Hill has always been one of the biggest inspirations behind DOA since day one. So I kind of took that kind of approach with the whole horror aspect,
Right.
where it's still scary, but it's scary in like a psychological sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think psychological horror, I think, has a, at least for me as somebody that's a horror fan, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I enjoy the classics, you know, the Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger always being
Oh
my
yeah, me
favorite.
too.
But
But with even Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not trying hard. Like I
uh,
said, there's just difference between Nightmare on Elm Street and Terrifier.
yes, I agree, man. I agree 100%. You know, but I think my introduction to what I would consider psychological horror, even though this is not considered a horror movie, is Rec Room for a Dream. Like that
Okay.
movie, like fucked with my head so much at the end of it. Like it left like this weird, empty, sick feeling in my stomach, by the end of that movie. And to me, that was the most terrifying movie, at least at that point, that I had ever watched, was fucking Requiem. Because it's something that can actually fucking happen to you, you know?
Right. I think all the best horror movies, in my opinion, and usually they're from the best directors. There's always some metaphorical meaning behind the movie. If you actually take John Carpenter's The Thing, which is my all-time favorite movie, there's actually like a metaphor behind it because it has to do with paranoia. And it's about being paranoid about people, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's such a good movie. Like even like the classic slasher movies like Halloween, or there's some sort of story and motive behind it. It's not just senseless like nonsense. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yeah.
there's something. That's why Halloween is the best movie in that genre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the slash, in my opinion, the original Halloween,
Yeah.
because it's not trying hard. It has a vibe to it. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, but it's also kind of like like with that, like talking about kind of like, those types of movies, it really threw me into like the rabbit hole of like David Lynch. Um,
Yeah.
so like David Lynch is like by far like Dune. I'm sorry. I fucking hate Dune. I can't make it through either the original or the remake. I just can't. I've tried.
I love the remakes. I absolutely love the remakes.
I mean, maybe I should give it another try because I mean, it was probably like 10 years, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I think now. I don't know when it came out, but it was like when they first came out. I tried, and it's just like I just can't do it. But Eraserhead, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, like those movies. Like, and there's another one. It's not David Lynch, but it's Memento. Memento is another one. And I think maybe it's just like the era that I grew up in, right? Because I was exposed to all this stuff by watching like these interviews, like with Marilyn Manson and shit when I was like a kid. And like, Manson was like very tightly knit into that, like, that community of creativity. And so like I kind of just went down that rabbit hole, and it's just like those are terrifying movies to me. Like those.
I'm going to give you an example of a
Yep.
movie that doesn't try hard. It's disturbing, and you never ever see gore in it once. And it, to me, is the most disturbing movie,
All right.
and is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You actually never see any gore in that movie, but it's so fucking disturbing because you just think about it.
Your brain
And
creates all of it. Like what's going on.
yeah, and it's like the vibe. It has like this, like kind of like you feel like you're there. They don't need
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like overdo everything.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
And
think. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I'm just saying, like I feel like that's the perfect example of like how a movie should be done. It's like you don't need to like dude, um overdoing gore doesn't make a horror movie.
Yeah, no, no,
Like
and
I love gore. I love gore. I love practical effects or something. There has to be more to it. Like you have Hellraiser. Hellraiser is super gory, but it has a great story. It has
mhm.
great characters. Um, yeah.
So my wife is in the chat, and she asks us like anyone's seen ABCs of Death. She's told me about this. I don't know how many times. I don't think I've ever actually seen it. Have you?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
What are your thoughts on it?
I saw it a long time ago, so I don't really fully remember it.
Yeah, I don't think
But
I've
I think
ever
I
seen
told
it.
you a movie. I told you a movie recently, and to me, it's the best movie that's come out in a long time. It is, and I sampled it on the new DOA album that's coming out. And I've watched it so many fucking times, and it's so good. Is that Bring Her Back movie? It is the best movie that's come out in a long time.
Is that on Netflix? Where,
No,
or is it in theaters right
I
now?
don't know where it's on.
Oh.
No, it's you can rent it or buy it, but I don't know if it's streaming on anything. But it's just so fucking. I watched it. It's funny because I've seen it like 3 times, and it's like I'm like, this movie's 10 out of 10. And
Okay.
it goes to 11 out of 10. It's just like every time you watch it, it gets better.
Rock on. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I do remember you mentioning it, but I have not seen it yet. But I will be looking into watching it once I can figure out where I can get it. So, I mean, and that's another thing that I think is really cool about like what you do with like some of your older stuff and what you're doing again. Like, I mean, you've always been using samples. Like, I mean, you used Hereditary, I think, in like one of the last 3 albums.
Which I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie. But one of my favorite samples that you've used in a song, and I can never remember the name of the goddamn song, but I know what movie it's from. It's from one of the Alien movies, right? And like when I look it up online, I have to look it up like what the fuck is inside me, and then your song pops up.
It's Alien Resurrection.
Mm-hmm. Like that sample
Which
and the way that
aliens
you,
are.
yeah. Have you seen the TV show?
It's awful.
It's awful, dude. I fucking love it. I think they did a fucking awesome job on it.
I liked it. I started liking it, and then they made a xenomorph into a pet, and then I was like, I'm good.
I'm
like,
what I think that's what I enjoyed about it was the fact that you never see, like, you always see the xenomorph as like this third space creature. Like, you know, it's like you never understand like the colony or the idea or the structure. Like, it's just an animal, right? And so what I liked about what the show did is it brought something in so you could see it as something different, right? And I was like, this is a really cool fucking concept. You know, like I'm just hoping it. I hope it's not a pet. I hope what it does is I hope it brings in, you know, this idea of like the colony aspect. How does the colony function? How do these things like determine what's a threat? Is it food? Is it a threat? Is it just reproduction? You know, like, so I'm hoping it the next season, because it's been greenlit, dives further into that aspect of it.
But it kind of goes against the lore because I'm a huge xenomorph nerd, and they're fucking killing machines.
Oh yeah, they were engineered.
They even say it in the old. Like they even say it in the original movies that you cannot tame one. So then they all of a sudden tame one, and it's just like, oh, come on. And I feel like it's just such the Disney approach. I literally went and saw Badlands Predator, and I was holding myself from not leaving the theater because I thought it was the worst fucking movie ever.
Yeah, I'm avoiding watching it. Like, there's a part of me that wants to watch it, and there's a part of me that's just like, if they ruin it, because the thing is, I've always been wanted them to show more of like the Predator culture, right? Like, because we've gotten glimpses of it. Like, so I've always wanted to see more of the culture, but I feel like if this is their attempt at it, I think the way that they're going about it by trying to make like the Predator the good guy, you know what I mean, is like, I don't know. I think it might be like the wrong direction to go with it, but I will eventually see it. But your response to it is not giving me hope.
I'll tell you this. I could not imagine a movie that's worse than Alien vs. Predator.
that was a bad one.
This movie tops it. Like, I was like it literally felt like The Mandalorian with Predator. And I love The Mandalorian. Don't get me wrong. I like Mandalorian, but that's not what I want with Predator.
Yeah. I mean, Predator was
the
always
whole
like
movie. It was like humor through like the android lady in the movie. What's the most fucking annoying part of the movie? And I was just like, I'm like, God, when is this movie going to end? Like,
yeah, that's disappointing. I don't like how they try to interject humor into shit like that. Like, because especially with Predator, like Predator. Again, I haven't seen this movie, guys, but I've always viewed the Predator as a very serious, honor-based creature, right? Like you see it in Predator 2, right? When the cop is able to kill the Predator, on the mothership or that main ship, the Elder comes out and hands him like that gun that you see in Prey, right? It's the same gun. I don't know if you guys realize that was the connection between Predator 2 and Prey.
And Prey was actually good.
Yes, I liked Prey. Prey was good. So, it's one of those things that, it's a very serious like culture, right? At least, science fiction. And it's always something I've been interested in seeing is them introducing kind of like more on, what that culture is in a live action film. Like you see some of it. There's that animated one. I think it's Killer of Killers or something like that. Which was pretty good. That wasn't bad. I don't know how you are with animated movies, but because it was Predator, I watched it and that wasn't bad. But with the alien thing, going back to that, I'm just hoping it doesn't like that xenomorph doesn't turn into a puppy. Like that's the only thing I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, going back to like the sampling thing, going back to the music, right? Like I've always
sorry, I kind of
no, that's fine. Like it's a conversation, man, right? It goes where it goes. But like, I've always appreciated the way that you've used your samples because I listen to a lot of bands that use samples in their music, and it seems very aimless. And it's no discredit to the music of other bands that do this. And I'm not going to drop any names, but I feel like it's not as creatively fueled. It's just kind of like, oh, this sounds cool, and let's throw this in there. But like, if you listen to that song that I'm talking about, again, I already forgot ADHD, man. I'm sorry, I already forgot the name of the fucking song. But the one
Abyss.
Abyss, that's it. Lyrically speaking, if you listen to that sample, because the sample's at the beginning of the song, and then you listen to the lyrics, it's not just a sample just to throw the sample in because the sample sounds cool, but it's because it ties into what's being, sung about with, to some degree, at least in my opinion. Maybe you'll disagree. It's your own shit. So
I actually have a rule about sampling, and I'm very anal about it. It's whatever sample has to make sense with the lyrics in some sort of way. I also have to like the movie. And this is another thing with personal evolution too. I go back to some songs and I sampled certain movies and I'm like, I don't even fucking like that movie. Why did I put that in there? No one gives a shit. But for me, I'm like, oh God, that movie sucks. Like, why did I put that in there? Like, I know I on the album, I sampled House of 1,000 Corpses. I hate Rob Zombie movies. I fucking hate Rob Zombie. So I'm like, why did I use that fucking sample?
It's one thing that Kristof and I disagree on. I love Rob Zombie, but so that's just me.
I like White Zombie. That's it.
Fair.
Anyways.
No, no, I mean, feel free to diss him all you want. Like, I'm not going to run to his fucking defense, but I do enjoy his shit. At least Hellbilly Deluxe. Like, I'm a Hellbilly Deluxe fan. Maybe like one album after that, like the EPs, not the LPs.
All the fucking like the popular songs on it, I can give a shit about. Like, there's songs on that album I actually like, but I'm so fucking tired of hearing Living Dead Girl and.
Yeah, it's a little overused. Honestly, my favorite tracks on Hellbilly Deluxe don't even have him singing in it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think it's Call of the Zombie was like one of them, the intro track, and then there's another one. It's like How to Make a Monster, or some How to Make a Zombie, or some shit. And like, he doesn't actually sing on it. It's just like a repeating sample. But those are like some of my favorite tracks on the fucking album. Um, but I mean, both. So for those that don't know, both Kristof and I, not only did we grow up in the same era, we grew up in the same era in the same area. I'm not going to say where. None of you guys know where I'm from. You don't need to know where I'm from. But it was funny because when Kristof and I first started talking, like when we mentioned like, oh yeah, I'm from here. He's like, really? So am I. So we have a
Yeah.
lot of the same influences growing up because of where we grew up.
Yeah, I think lately some of my biggest influence musically, and I know I actually learned how to be a good frontman from being in the scene, but I grew up into like the hardcore scene on the East Coast and punk. And before they became very big, I used to watch Hatebreed a lot, and that's one of my
same
favorite bands. And Jamie Josis is such a good frontman, and he's since day one, and it taught me a lot on how to be an energetic frontman that interacts with the crowd. So it's always been very important.
Tell me if you feel this way about the East Coast hardcore scene, though, man. Like, because I grew up, like, it was the same thing where I was at. I know we were like a couple hours apart, but, where we lived. But it went very quickly from being a scene to a full-on lifestyle for kids, like for teenagers and shit, back in the East Coast, like during the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, was it like that, like, in depth where you were at as well?
Yeah. And I think I mentioned to you that I'm vegan, very strongly about veganism, but I've been on and off vegan since the 90s, and I actually got introduced to it from the hardcore scene. I hung out with a lot of the straight edge kids, and they were hardcore vegan. So that's when I got introduced to it. And then it's been kind of like a part of my life ever since.
Yeah, no, I remember the first time talking to, like, back in college, because I was in college at the time, talking to some of the kids in the straight edge scene. I was like, "What are you guys, fucking Catholic?" Like, they're like, "No," like, because like back then, I don't know if it's still now the same way now, but back then it was like no processed food, no chemical, like unnecessary chemicals in the body, no drinking, no smoking, no sex, no meat, like, and I was like, okay, like, I mean, I think the Amish would love you, like, but that was my attitude back then as a kid, like, it's just like I was a dick. But I think it's just interesting having that contrast, that just knowing that, like, we came out of the same. I mean, for me, I call it a cesspit where I lived. I don't know about you, but like, we came out of the same shit area and fucking time frame. So let's roll into the new shit. So I haven't listened to it yet. And I'm looking forward to giving it a listen. So what's the inspiration behind this? And also, like, I have to ask, man, how the fuck do you churn out an album like every 6 months? Like how do you do?
Well, one is a job for me. So it's like, people have their 9-to-5 jobs. This is my 9-to-5 job. So I'm constantly working on music. I'm constantly learning. And the only way to get better is you keep writing.
Right.
This is the first Dawn of Ashes album, this particular Dawn of Ashes album that I'm releasing in March that I actually mastered. I mixed the first two Dawn of Ashes albums in the beginning, but this is the first time where I didn't rely on anybody. I did everything. So I mastered it. And just I have all this fucking gear behind me, and I'm just always writing. Now I have I've had it for years now, that now I have the outlet of doing ambient music, which actually is one of my favorite things to do now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, Void Stasis, my solo thing, now this other ambient project that I have. And I guess now that I'm kind of reinventing the whole dark electro agrotech thing, I'm trying to kind of step it up further and further.
Mm-hmm.
And with this next album, because I was listening to fans, and Metropolis told me how well Infecting the Scars did.
Mm-hmm.
And like I saw Hypertensive Crisis, the music video, and how it blew up. It really blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I got a sound. Now I'm going to take the energy, the pure energy of the first Crypt Injection, and take what I did with that last album and make this new album.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like kind of making a modernized Crypt Injection, but with the same sort of mental health sort of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different now because a lot of the subjects I'm talking about the album's called Anatomy of Suffering, and it's a lot of the subjects I'm talking about is suicide. And I had to put a warning in it that I'm not glorifying suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not really a subject that, you want to glorify, because it's a real thing that people struggle with. But I talk about the ugliness behind the mentality behind not wanting to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the subjects on the album has to do with that. I talk about some other topics as well, but I know a couple of tracks on that album, it's all about suicide.
Yeah.
And it's a weird subject for me, because we're talking about the left-hand path. Left-hand path, I used to be very suicidal when I was younger, and then I got on the left-hand path, and it's been like something I kind of part of my guidelines to be against suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I kind of stopped practicing, I started feeling it again, but I knew in my mind that it's still part of my guideline, that I can't get to that point, but I still feel it. And sometimes I feel it, so I know the thought process behind it still. And I know there's a lot of people out there that deal with that, and they know that thought process, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah, no,
it sucks. And to me, that's true horror.
Yeah.
Is descending into that point. I can't lie that there's been points where I felt it, like on and off. I felt it, and I don't know why. I have no idea, but I know you kind of have to fight it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like, just, personal experience. Like, I think I've mentioned this in passing on some previous episodes. So, for those that pay attention and watch the show, like I've recently, over the last three months or so, started taking Ritalin. And when I first started, so for those that don't know, Ritalin is essentially speed, right? And so what it does is it fucks with your serotonin production. And so my psychiatrist had me on one 27 milligram dose in the morning, but the way that my body metabolizes it, it would only last me between 4 to 6 hours. And after about the first 30 days of taking it, there were some crashes so hard, like in the afternoon, like by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like I was struggling with suicidal ideation like almost every fucking day, you know, about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I would drop so fucking hard. It fucked with me. And now I'm on 2 pills, so one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So I take one in the morning and the one at by 2 o'clock I take another one, and that really kind of levels it out. So because that's about the time I'm going to bed, which is about like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and so like by the time I wake up in the morning, I'm fine. But I think what's hard with that, like I've had it when I was a kid. Like, I had like those thoughts, like, like, for those of you that know, like, I mean, I used to get the shit beat out of me when I was a kid. And, I was in a mental spot when I was, a young teenager where it was like, I can't get out of this, there's only one way out. And, obviously I didn't go that way, but that was a thought process that had happened. But recently, going through that with the Ritalin and having that crash off, because your body stops producing serotonin at a certain level as the medication wears off. And it felt like the end of the fucking world. And it's something that, like, dealing with those thoughts, those ideas, fuck, man. Like, I mean, like, and it's like, it's almost like, I think the hardest part is like, it feels like it's not you. Like, it's not you. Like, I feel this way, but it's not me. Like, and you want so bad to get back to that, feeling normal, and you have no idea how to fucking get there. It's terrifying. So I think it's an important thing I do think it's an important thing to fucking talk about. I do think it's an important thing to put out there. And I think it's an important thing to tell people, through music or whatever, to explain to people like what the fuck it is, because it's not, when you get to that point, it's not, oh, I'm sad. It's not that simple. And that shit always irritated me. Like with my stepdad, like my stepdad was one of those people that was like, would just stop being fucking sad. You have nothing to be sad about. And it's not being sad. Like your dog dies and you're sad. Like depression and suicidal ideation is, it overwhelms you.
That's actually why I actually got into the whole left-hand path thing from the beginning. And why I got into martial arts and all this type of stuff is kind of to center myself. Mm-hmm. And I was diagnosed with OCD, and it's fucking the most annoying thing they should probably have, in my opinion. So, and it has its like creative side and destructive side, because you mm-hmm. asked why I write so many albums. It's because I have OCD.
I mean, I say it with respect, man. I think it's cool as fuck that you're churning out one every 6 months. Like
yeah, but it's like my brain's constantly like, it's like a fucking a hamster wheel. It's just like, it's fucking going and going and going, and it has its pros and its cons. Pros is I'm really creative. Cons is I drive myself fucking crazy. Like, so.
Yep.
So why not take
right
that beast and put it into my music?
Yeah, 100%, man.
That's how I feel.
I think the hamster wheel thing is a very good analogy, and ADHD is very much the same thing. The only difference is there's like 200 different hamster wheels and you're jumping between them.
Yeah, so. I know all about it. Yeah. But it's funny because I talk to people and I tell them Dawn of Ashes is my chaos and my ambient stuff is my tranquility.
Fair.
So
fair.
I have these bipolar mm-hmm. different places I go musically. So when I do stuff for like Void Stasis and my own stuff, it's like a sense of tranquility and all like atmospheric and vibey. And it's funny because I started bringing that into Dawn of Ashes too. I mean, there's like 2 ambient songs on the upcoming album. I actually did a collaboration with Void Stations, which is partially me and my friend Black Moth. So we did an ambient track at the end of the album.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 other collaborations on the album as well. Obviously, Suicide Commando's one of the ones that everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah, I actually had somebody in the chat say that they're looking forward to it. I think it's Brandon Brindle. Yeah, said that he's like definitely he's looking forward to that single to be getting dropped.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with that whole thing.
That makes me excited to hear it though, man. Like I'm actually like really interested. And also for those that don't know, like a little self promo here. For those that don't know, like the last album, I did the artwork for that. Like if y'all motherfuckers don't know, I did the album art and the misspellings on the back of it.
We will get into that.
Hey, ADHD, man. Like, I mean, it was an
It
unintentional
happens.
thing, but like, you know, it played a role. So, but yeah,
OCD where it drives me fucking crazy.
yep, and ADHD where like I'm just like, oh no, it's fine.
Right.
So yeah, it was definitely interesting. That conversation. He's like, dude, like it's already out, and like there's like 3 misspelled words, and I'm like, fuck.
It's all good. But we shooting a music video, and so we have a West Coast tour starting from January 24th to February 6th, I think 6th or 7th. And I think it's like 2 days before that, we shoot a new music video for a song off the new album.
Nice.
And yeah, there's a lot of touring that's in the works right now, festivals. But I think the one thing about doing the whole electronic stuff again that makes things so much easier is not having a full fucking band the whole time. You don't need. You could just have 3 or 4 people on stage, and it's cool.
Yeah, so just like people for like the live shows and stuff like that, and you can, I guess it makes it faster to make an album too, doesn't it? Like, you can just kind of throw everything together and then like kind of like what Trent does, right? With 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, in a way, I guess.
As far as I'm aware, he does everything himself, and then when it comes to like the live shows, he has a live band, but like the production and everything, that's all him.
I think some people write on it, but I think it's mainly him.
Yeah. And also for those that don't know, because there really hasn't been a lot of talk about this. And, Kristof and I have been talking about like kind of like some of the best ways to kind of push this out there. But so Kristof, you've got the ambient stuff, Void Stasis. You've got Dawn of Ashes, which is like the flagship, shit that he does. But then you've also got Bathory Music Productions, right?
Right.
So, and I do kind of want to spend a little bit of time talking about this because, I think that this is an important thing because it shows the versatility of what Kristof is capable of doing. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but like it shows like the versatility.
I'm a ghost.
It shows the versatility of what he's capable of doing because it's not just, you've got the metal era of Dawn of Ashes. You've got the electronic era. You're coming back into kind of like that agrotech era. You've got the ambient stuff. But then when you look at Bathory Music Productions, it's a whole other fucking beast. Right. It's music scoring, game scoring, sound effects. You have your own
mastering.
You got your own sample packs out under Bathory Music Productions, right? Which I will be using myself. I'm getting back into music production, and I'm actually going to be using primarily Kristof sample packs to put some shit together. We also have a VST in the works. We haven't talked about it in a while, but we do have one in the works, right? To go through that. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about, like with the production side of things?
I mean, like I said, I do mixing, mastering, ghost production, which is basically I write music for other artists. Remixing, which I've always done. Video game, film, commercial scoring. So I worked on a video game based out of Japan. No, China. Sorry, China. So I did that recently. I did some commercial music for a company in Poland. I've been mastering artists. It's been like one of my things I've been doing lately. And yeah, sound design. I do a lot of sound design with all this modular stuff behind me. So yeah, that's part of this whole, like you were saying, how do I keep writing? It's just like, it's a job. It's my office. I take it serious like a job. It's a 9-to-5 job for me. I wouldn't say it's 9 to 5 because I'm up till like fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, but you get what I mean. I take it as serious like that. It's my company, and part of these projects like Dawn of Ashes and Void States and all that is part of my company.
So you would say Bathory Music Productions is kind of like the umbrella then?
That's kind of hard because I feel like Dawn of Ashes is kind of that, because that's, you know,
where it started.
What's what put me out there. But I feel like everything tied in would be part of that name.
Yeah. So one of the things, like, so switching gears here just a little bit. So one of the things that kind of got me into Dawn of Ashes. So for those that don't know, I was on a kick. Dude, I don't know how many years ago, like you and I started talking, but it's been a few years, at least like what, 5 years now? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. It's years ago. So anyway, as I was on this kick, I was looking for agrotech, right? Because I was listening to like Combi Christ, and I was listening to like old school Combi Christ shit, and I was like, oh dude, you know, like, and then I refound Cyclone 9. And you know, there's really only like one song that I really like from Cyclone 9. I'm going to be completely honest, like no hate, but there is only like one song, and I, off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but I do know it's from that album that has like the brown American flag on it. Suicide something, something about suicide. Good track. And I was looking for, it's like, what's some other shit that sounds like this? And I fell across Dawn of Ashes. And one of the things that kind of made me really kind of stick with, you know, Kristof and Dawn of Ashes and stuff like that, is his journey on the left-hand path, and how incorporated a lot of that is, like, subliminally speaking, into the music. Like, not so much like the spiritual stuff and the, you know, the shit that people like to advertise. Like, you know, we're not talking, like, he's not actually talking about demons and shit, you know, which is demonolatry, not left-hand path. Left-hand path is a philosophy. But there's a lot of like personal accountability, you know, responsibility to the self, you know, shit like that in the music, which is, again, one of the things that I know a lot of people are complaining about him removing discs from his discography. But I'm not going to lie to you guys, I kind of applaud that shit, because it's like, that is that radical fucking accountability. So Kristof's journey on the left-hand path, the conversations that him and I have had about the left-hand path, and kind of like the parallels that him and I share with our understanding of what the left-hand path actually fucking is, you know, I think is an important thing to look at when you're looking at Kristof, when you're looking at Dawn of Ashes. It is an important aspect to look at, because people on the path, people that understand it as a philosophy, I feel are very underrepresented, in the people in music that are trying to represent the left-hand path do a fucking horrible job, because they don't represent the left-hand path. They represent demonolatry. They're talking about the demons. They're talking about devil worship and shit like that, which is not left-hand path. And I think the only one out there actually doing the left-hand path fucking justice is Kristof.
I wouldn't say I don't give me that responsibility.
I'm sorry, man, but I'm throwing it. I'm throwing it on your plate because I feel like you are the only one that does that. Like because you're
I think there's a lot of people that do it. They just don't. They're not really public about it. But I think, I mean, I've been drifting along this path for a very long time, and I've been kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. I get in this kind of limbo stage with it, and I haven't really done much with it in a while, and I've been kind of wanting to get back into it because I know it centered me pretty well when I was heavily involved into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of shit with it, and this goes along with a lot of things now that puts a bad taste in my mouth.
We're getting into the fun part, guys.
Now I'm gonna sound like that bitter old man that fucking complains about everything, but I mean, it's true. I actually understand those people now, because you get to a point in your life and you're like, God, just everything kind of fucking disappoints you.
Well, I mean, we were talking before we got into the show, like how kind of like a lot of people online, and not online even, with the left-hand path, don't do the left-hand path justice and use it for things that they probably shouldn't be using it for. And it's kind of turned into, unfortunately, a fucking joke. I mean, you were talking like, I mean, I think you had mentioned that you had joined an order and like almost immediately kind of like when you walk through the door and you're like, nope, bye. Right. So
yeah, and it's nothing, and I haven't, when I say this, I have nothing against them, because the founder and the one who runs it, I have lots of respect. I have books, follows me on Facebook, is a huge supporter of Dawn of Ashes and everything I do. And that's not really why I left. I mean, I have my reasons, and I don't really want to get into it, but
fair.
But there was a really great quote in one of my favorite books. I'd call it my handbook with the left-hand path, and it's you can have 1,000 books on the left-hand path and the occult, and all it is show and tell. But if you're not doing any fucking work out of any of those books, it means nothing. You're just putting books on a bookshelf. All you need is one fucking thing, but it's not even about the book. It's about you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not doing the work, it's just fucking show and tell.
It is. It's aesthetic. It's nothing else.
It's like it's like those fucking it's funny, me and my wife talk about it all the time, but it's those guru hippie people who get those fucking crystals, and they show off their crystals, and they act like they're better than you because they fucking have this crystal or something like that, and it's so fucking annoying. Or like, those people are like, oh, I eat organic food, but it's like, I eat organic, that's all I eat, and you fucking suck because I eat organic food. It's like now it's like the left-hand path is like that. I see these people who are like, they have to show off. Like, I have a real big problem with people that have to show off their work. And I remember I'm guilty. I did it in the past, but I'm against it because it's supposed to be your personal thing. It's left-hand path. It's the difference between the right and the left is like the left is your own journey. It's no one else's. It's yours. You create it the way you want to create it. And when you start following what other people doing, you're starting to, do what everybody else is doing, and it's kind of going against the kind of principle of what it's all about. Not to
I
say you're not
completely agree.
learning from other people. You can be in an order and it's like a school and learn things, but you don't have to fucking like. It's like getting a bumper sticker on your car. It says I'm vegan.
Right?
It's like, who gives a shit?
Thank you.
Like, no one
Thank you.
fucking cares.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like when you have to announce it to the
No one
world, it kind of like
Honestly,
loses its
no
power.
one gives a fuck. No one cares if you're in a left-hand path. No one fucking cares. No one thinks you're cool because of it. So what's? Oh shit! Sorry, I dropped my phone. I got so sorry.
Got so excited, he starts throwing shit, guys.
I don't know, how do I get back? No, it's just my stupid headset. Sorry, but you know what I mean. It's like, I feel like with social media and stuff like that, everybody has to like kind of show off things just to get attention, and I just think it's stupid.
Well, it's kind of goes to let's talk about the same thing here, but like in a different context, right? So you and I were talking about kind of like the mystery with certain bands and stuff like that, and kind of like what made these bands cool. Like you use Cradle of Filth as a perfect example. You know, is that like you used to like
and they're cringy as fuck.
Used to look at Danny Filth and Cradle of Filth and be like, oh yeah, like these guys are so fucking cool. Like nobody really knew what the hell was going on with Danny or anything like that. Like it was very limited. And like with the advent of social media, now that like he's got his family photos up and like there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just kind of like the excitement of the discovery is gone. You know, like it's like when everything is out there for you to see, you become completely desensitized to everything, and there's no more mystery, there's no more occult, there's no more uncovering the hidden. You know, it's all out there for you to fucking see it. And I think it's the same way with the left-hand path and like the Ars Goetia and like all of that shit, because it's like it's all in your face now. You know,
you want a good metaphor of it? Perfect metaphor.
Go for it.
I remember going to the gym like years ago, and God, how do I say this where it's not going to be offensive? Because I got to watch what I say. These certain type of people go there with their memberships. I guess it's like what they have, these New Year's resolutions. They go there, they do absolutely fucking nothing, and then they leave and say, "Oh, let's go to fucking Taco Bell." And they only are doing it because they have a gym membership that they can fucking tell people and go online and take photos of themselves sitting at a fucking workout bench. So people are like gym life, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not doing anything. You're just getting fat. You're just getting fat and taking photos of yourself at the gym. Like, good for you, dude.
Yeah. No, it is the same thing, man. It's the same fucking thing. You know, and it's disgusting. It's, you know, it's just depressing.
But everybody does that now. That is like that's the era we live in. That it's show and tell. Let's see what we can do to get attention. Yeah. And now people are doing these things like spiritual awakening to get attention, not because they fucking really want to do anything with it. It's just so they could do hashtag spiritual awakening.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So there's something that I don't know why I like to do this, but I enjoy doing this. Because it motivates me. So what I'll do is I'll open up TikTok and I'll go to the live section, and I won't really watch anything, but I'll just flip through them like this. And it feels so dystopian. Like it legitimately feels like something out of like one of those 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, like sci-fi fucking like, you know, like thriller type things, like almost like what the fuck was the name of that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the chick that had 3 tits?
Oh, okay. Total Recall.
Thank you. Like it almost feels like, look, you say Arnold Schwarzenegger and you say that, people automatically know what it is. I can't remember names for shit. But it almost feels like something like from fucking Total Recall or something, like just the shit that people do just to get attention, like the lack of self-respect that people have, that they are so willing to make themselves look like idiots to millions of people just for clicks.
But you know what's funny about this subject? And not to say I respect those people, but I have more respect for someone who does something stupid, like something that like has no substance to it, than doing it for something that has substance. Does that make sense? Like you take a subject that's supposed to be beneficial and you use it to get attention versus someone who shows their butt online to get attention.
Yeah.
I actually have more respect for the person who shows their butt because like at least they know they're doing it.
Yeah.
For something
no, you're not wrong.
You know what I mean? The other thing is just kind of an insult.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I mean, you know, and I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I disagree. Like, I don't support, you know, the current OnlyFans culture out there, but I do agree with you in the fact that at least these people know what the fuck it is that they're doing, and at least they're honest about it.
No, I don't think you're getting with me. I didn't say I agree with it. Yeah. Like, I don't care what people do. If that's what fucking people want to do, I don't care. Everybody has the right to do whatever the hell they want. You know?
Yeah.
That's not what I was saying. What I was saying is that you take a subject that's supposed to be
meaningful
taken
and
seriously, and you use it to show it off to look cool. That's stupid. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I get you, and I'm right there with you. You know, I just feel like, you know, the reason I do want to preface this, the reason I disagree with and I don't support, you know, the OF culture, the way that I was raised, and this is coming from my mother, you know, is that people that do that are usually doing what they're doing out of a point of desperation, and it is disrespectful to the person that is doing it. It's just self-deprecation in its most, I feel like its most ultimate form. And it's not because it offends me or because it bothers me in a way that like it affects my life. It doesn't. But I just find it so sad that people legitimately look at this thing and they're like, oh, well, this is, you know, my career option. And I'm like, but you're so much more than that. You really are.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. But I think there's this weird line, but middle line where it's like, I'm like, okay, but if that's what they want to do, it's their right to do that.
No, yeah, it is completely. And I mean, it is, you know, I might not agree with it, but you know, it is their right to do it. And, you know, I know people are tired of hearing this, but yeah, I mean, I will fight for somebody's right to do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do, as long as it's not hurting somebody else, you know?
The thing that makes me kind of annoyed, and this goes with anything with social media, is that, oh God, here we go. You take a band. You take a band. They have wealthy parents. They pay their way to get to the top. And then you have a band that busts their fucking ass from shit. And the band that has the wealthy fucking family gets bigger than you after you've been completely busting your ass. That's shit that I don't like.
Yeah.
And that is with everything now.
Yeah, dude, I remember that shit back in the 90s, man. That was the big fucking thing against, like, what's his face? It was Fred Durst and Kid Rock. You know, the two of them. You know, because, you know, they were talking like, you know, they had a hard come up, and, you know, both of them had fucking money growing up. You know, they didn't have to work and bust their ass for anything. They didn't start, not to say that, and it's not to say that I don't like Limp Bizkit. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I do. enjoy Limp Bizkit,
I
and I
like
love the
Limp
song Dad
Bizkit.
Vibes. So
I'm guilty of loving Limp Bizkit, so
there you go, right? So we're both there.
I actually have no fucking shame saying it. But I
Yeah.
like stuff that people probably would not guess I liked.
Same. But
I'm
so
sure
it's not to
people
say.
want to know in the comments. I'm sure people would want to know what that is.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. All right, you put Limp Bizkit out there. Give us one. Give us one guilty pleasure.
Lady Gaga.
Oh man, same thing, man. Like I
Justin
dig Lady
Timberlake.
Gaga.
Justin Timberlake.
Same. I like me some Justin.
The Bee Gees.
Yeah, you lost me on that one. Yeah, I know. I can't get. Yeah.
So good. So good. So fucking good.
As long as you don't
Dude,
say ABBA.
I was my wife loves ABBA, but she's Danish,
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah. But one of them there was actually one guilty thing, and I for years refused to admit I liked it. And finally I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I like it. Judge me. But I honestly like Bring Me to the Horizon. I do.
Really?
I do like I do like some of I think they're good songwriters. I'm not saying all of it, but some of the songs are really fucking catchy.
All right, I got one. I actually like Nickelback. Like,
Oh God. Okay, that's what we're. Yeah, that's where we're not on the same page.
Yeah,
That's
no.
that's like liking Creed.
I
Please
do
tell me you don't
like
like
Creed
Creed.
too. I
Oh
do.
my God. I like I like Sabrina Carpenter. I'll admit it.
My son likes Sabrina Carpenter. I don't think I've actually listened to anything, so I can't say if I
Yeah.
do or don't. Yeah, I
Sue me.
think my like for Creed though, so I think I have a justification for this. Like, so when my first son was born, I happened to stumble on that song "Arms Wide Open,"
Oh
like when he
God.
was an infant, and like it just, yeah, it tied in, and so like as a first time father at that time, like it was just like, yeah, it was like kind of like that melded in, but it's not something that's on a playlist or anything. Like I don't have like, regular listening sessions. um, all right. So what are your thoughts on, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Kristof. We're going to make this entertaining. So
Sure.
what are your thoughts on, so for example, like Billie Eilish then and now?
I've never liked her music.
Fair. See,
Never.
I like the first album. Like the first album, I enjoyed the first one. I thought that there's like some industrial elements incorporated into it. Is a lot darker lyrically, and I feel like, and I know this is a cliche thing to say, but I feel like she's sold out for a paycheck.
I
Which
don't
again,
know.
there's nothing wrong with it, but musically, I just don't like any of the newer shit after the first one.
I can't really
Can't
say
comment.
anything about it. No.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So what do you think about then? Like, let's just like generalize it then. Like, what are your thoughts with like just kind of like modern pop culture?
I don't like a lot of it. I think it's fabricated. I think there's no. I mean, again, it depends on who it is, but
Mm-hmm.
majority of it, I feel like there's no real. How do I explain it? The '90s. When you take the '90s, there was a lot of emotion
Mm-hmm.
and rawness behind the music, and to me, a lot of stuff now is just so plastic. And it's not even just pop music, it's a lot of things.
I agree.
And and that's kind of like what I'm my whole point about like what I was talking about with my own music. I feel like it's so like the whole triad thing is a whole plastic thing too.
Mm-hmm.
But what the hell was I going to say? Like one band I've been listening to a lot, and I can honestly say he is one of the greatest singers of all time, and it's Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Like I've been watching videos of them performing, and I'm just like, fuck, it's just so raw and it's so good, and it's just so real.
Is he part of the 27 Club?
27.
The singer, the musicians that died at 27, whether by overdose or suicide.
Oh, I don't know, but
I think he is. I watched a documentary on Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is something I grew up with on
one of the best
95X.
bands of all. To me, it's one of the. It's kind of funny because I put like some of my favorite bands, and I have to say, I mean, it's certain albums, but I feel like that Dirt album has to be one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah, no, it's just Alice in Chains. I have moments where I loop in and loop out with them. I watched this documentary about, I can't remember, I want to say Lance, but it's not Lance, it's something Stanley, the singer.
Yeah, Laney.
Laney, that's it. Oh my God, like watching the downward spiral that happened with him when locking himself in his penthouse and like everything that kind of like transpired from there. It's so fucking sad, you know? And it's like, this is the difference I feel like, and don't misunderstand me here. I'm not saying that like people need to fucking die in their 20s for music to be real, but because I think that's fucking stupid. But like when you look at Kurt Cobain, you look at Alice in Chains, you look at the music that was being put out there, like even like was it Soundgarden that did
Yeah.
right, or Corrosion of Conformity, shit like that, like the grunge era. The shit that you would hear coming out of that music, like that was, you could feel that it was fucking real. Like it wasn't
It's like it's like Deftones. Deftones is a good example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Deftones is definitely a good example of like, especially like in the later 90s. Now everybody wants to fucking sound like them. There's so many fucking people spiraling off because for some reason Deftones they've found their popularity.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things that like I feel like the music that comes out now, and again, like Kristof said, maybe I'm just getting fucking old, and I'm one of those old grumpy fuckers that just like find shit to complain about. But the way that it feels, like the way that it feels is people are trying to recreate that emotion in their music without actually having the emotion to draw from. And you can tell by listening to it, it's like this isn't legit. This is artificial. This is made up because they want to take advantage of the wave of this shit coming back. And it's so fucking disappointing because as someone, I'll speak for myself, as someone that came from the 90s, someone that experienced the 90s, I grew up in the 90s. I was alive, when, and old enough to know when, Kurt Cobain killed himself. It's like there's something there that you can't recreate. And even like if you look at old Manson and old Nine Inch Nails, like back from the mid 90s, there's something magical about it that people are struggling for nowadays. People want it back. People want that substance back in their music, back in their entertainment. Like they want it. They're starving for it because, like you said, it is like pop culture today, and not just pop, but like pop culture isn't rock, metal, movies, TV shows. It's too fucking artificial. Everything feels like Barney's sing along, nowadays. And so one of the things that I love about Kristof, and like I really do appreciate about your fucking music, man, is I don't think you've ever actually had an era like that. Like you might say your Metal Blade era, possibly, but I don't think so. Like I don't think that you've fallen into that trap. Or like, what are
I
your
mean,
thoughts?
I have my like plastic.
Like trying to just make something to make a buck. Like not actually believing in what it is that you're making, but just making it because the record label said that you need to make something that sells.
I don't think it's really. See, this is where I'm kind of going back into certain things. I feel like some stuff I wrote because I thought like I misunderstood what controversy really is all about. And it was more about to provoke and piss people off. And I feel like that's very plastic.
Okay.
I know that's not really what you're saying, but it is kind of similar. It's like I'm trying to get more exposure by putting out like a negative response, but not in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Rage bait.
There's that. Yeah. And I'm not really about that anymore. I feel like the album on Metal Blade, I don't really connect with it. And I know a lot of people will probably be like, you know, get upset with it, but there's, I wrote like a lot of the songs based on like Lovecraft stories and other shit, but it really didn't like, and the other thing, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't like the music. I don't. If you really want to know the albums that are coming that I took down, it's not really a lot, but I mean, technically, I mean, like there's songs on Anathema I fucking hate. I honestly cannot stand it. I don't like the lyrics, but I'm not going to take it down because I know it's a popular album. But I mean, there's certain songs I probably would still perform, but I don't really connect with it. Like I'll tell you, people's favorite song is "Poisoning Slips of Babel." I think the lyrics are garbage. I think the music video is lame. I think it's cringy. I really do. It doesn't mean I'm going to take it down, but it's cringy. There's many reasons why I don't like the music video. But
I love that fucking song.
I
love that fucking song.
But we talked about it, and you even told me.
Did.
You told me you told me that the lyrics are like whatever.
Yeah, lyrically, it's
they
just
are.
like
it's fucking. It's nonsense. It's like it's. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, blah 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 blah, whatever. I don't care. So I took down Hollywood Made in Gehenna. I took that down recently with like the "Fuck Like You're in Hell" song because I musically I don't like it. I'm not going to perform it, and it was just an error that was really bad for me. So I'm just like whatever. I don't care. And then the other one is the Demonology Gnosis album, and I'm taking that one down. I'm actually replacing it with a new one because it was the first album where I actually got screwed over by a past member who actually erased all of my music and wrote their music on top of it before I had to submit it to the label, and then tried suing me for copyrights.
Damn.
So, and I went on a tour for that album, and it was the worst tour that I've ever been on. And it's like, so my whole experience with that album is that when I wrote all this music that got completely erased by this dude, and I only had like a couple of days to submit the album, and then he tries to sue me for copyrights. And then it just does not sound like Dawn of Ashes. It just sounds like a symphonic blackened death metal or black metal album. It does not have the Dawn of Ashes sound. So it may, it's like it should have been separated in something else, not DOA. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I do. It does 100%.
But besides that whole like drama conflict thing that I just told you about puts a really bad taste in my mouth. So it doesn't really feel like my album. it's the first album where I had to I just sang on it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. No,
So
100%.
I just figured like what's the point if I'm not going to perform these fucking songs ever? Like what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and God, lately I've been saying this to people. I wish after the crypt injection I started from like maybe the crypt injection 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like and went on.
Yeah, no, man. Like, I mean, I get it. I get it. And for those out there watching this, watch Satan and Coffee today, or listening to this in post, if you're wondering what the hell any of this has to do with the left-hand path, I'm going to give my breakdown of how I feel about it. So we talked about the left-hand path, but the reason I think this is pertinent to the left-hand path, because one of the things I think a lot of people have the hard time with is recognizing and understanding when it is necessary to burn down everything that you've built. There are stages in
fully
life.
boil it down, not burn it down, but leave the foundation and then rebuild off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes it's taking that time, that moment, that opportunity to look at what you have built and understanding the parts that no longer serve you. And in the left-hand path, I've always said that the difference between the left-hand path and the right-hand path is internalization and externalization. The right-hand path externalizes and the left-hand path internalizes. When we talk about music, I really don't think that we can talk about anything else that is more personal, not only to the artist, but to the listener. When we listen to music, music is an escape. Music is something that, you know, we have a deep emotional connection with. And a lot of people, I think, have lost that understanding. And so when we talk, when we're sitting here and talking to you, Kristof, you know, and we're talking about, that purging of like past creations is like it's not even just a metaphor, right? It's like, it's literally happening. Like it's in manifestation. Um, and it is an important thing, I think, for everyone to learn that it is necessary to take the opportunity sometimes to look at what you've built and understand that there are going to be things that need to be torn away, that need to be broken away, because those very things are still holding you back. Kristof, you've mentioned, you don't want to be associated with certain things that you created in the past. And that's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. What we're talking about is you're not that person anymore. So if you're not that person, why do you want to hold on to something that portrays you as something that no longer exists? You don't.
Right.
You want to get rid of it.
Right.
And so that's where I think this conversation, I don't even want to call it a fucking interview, but this conversation, I think, is so important to what Satan and Coffee is about, because you're seeing it in action now. We're not just talking about it. Now you're watching someone actually do this process for the betterment of themselves. It's not for anybody else.
And it's funny because I was like, I start researching, and I'm like, I found a lot of artists that have done this. Eminem's a perfect example. I saw an interview where he refuses to perform certain songs. I've heard some artists where they will change the lyrics on certain songs because like they don't agree with the stuff that they wrote in it. It's there's so many artists that have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know some fans are like, get upset about that, but I mean, you got to understand where we're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. You guys thinks it's just music, but I mean,
it's so much more than that, though. So much more than that.
It's like I had a really bad addiction to drugs and alcohol. I don't want to keep being reminded of it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to. I've been past that for many, many years. So if I'm gonna perform something that kind of connects with that, I mean, it makes no sense because that's not who I am.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%, 100%. And I think that another good example of this as well is one of the things I'm so tired of when we talk about the left-hand path is so many people are so obsessed with the spiritual aspect of the left-hand path, or what like applies spiritually, and that it's definitely there. It definitely exists. But I feel like the left-hand path is so much more fucking practical than that. Like it really is. And I don't think it gets enough credit for its practicality in
I think
application.
people misunderstand what spiritual actually means. Because spirit is just the self. So, I mean, spiritual doesn't mean like, ghosts and demons and all that type of stuff. I mean, it can be, but spiritual is just about like molding the inside of yourself.
Yeah.
So that could be done in many ways.
100%. 100%. No, I completely agree, man. I mean, that's the whole reason I created an entire path, frameworked from the left-hand path, because like I wanted to recapture the practicality of it. Like it has nothing to do with demons or ghosts or supernatural or anything like that. Like it's focused on, the realistic aspects of it. It tears away the bullshit. And it's radical accountability. The entire system that I've built, I've built an entire trifecta, an entire fucking system focused around accountability and responsibility and understanding. That's where self-deification comes from, going into like Carl fucking Jung, and talking about, individuation, and, the responsibility falls on you, not anything outside of you. You are the only one that has control over anything that you do. It's not to say that you can't be a victim. And most people get confused by this part. They're like, oh, well, you're blaming the victim. Like when we talk about situations like this, like, no, you can be a victim. But there comes a point where you make a choice to stay a victim. Like you make an active decision to do that. It's not victim blaming. You're not to blame for what happened to you. But if you live in that space all the time, and that's your mentality all the time, I'm a victim, you're giving away your agency. You're giving away your power. You're saying I'm powerless to this situation, and you're not. You're not. And I think what you're doing, Kristof, is I think it's a fucking amazing thing. What you're showing people, even if the people that hate it or the people that bitch and complain about it, I say, do it, man.
I mean, of course, I'm gonna get people that are gonna be upset about it. I mean, I've already got messages about like, where did this album go? And I'm just like, I mean, I haven't responded, but I'm just like, I don't really need to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm going to say this to the fans, but I don't really need to justify my actions.
You don't. You don't.
Like, I'm sorry, but I'm sure you guys have that music somewhere, and but I don't know. I've made my decision on what I'm going to do with that, and moving forward. I mean, I have a lot more music to write, so
looking forward to it too. So why don't you tell the people when the release date is for the new album, and anything about the tour that you're able to tell them about that's coming up for it?
Okay. Yeah, because I think my actual phone is dying. So, so the album, I believe, comes out March 20th. I think it's March 20th. We shoot a music video for one of the singles. I think it's anywhere between January 21st and the 24th, because we go on tour on the West Coast of America starting January 24th to February 6th or 7th, which all the dates are posted on our social media. Then somewhere around the release date, we'll be doing a Europe tour. We're already booked for an Out of Line festival in Berlin, Castle Party. And then I believe we're shooting to do the East Coast of America probably around like September. That's what I'm shooting for. And I'm sure there's more to come. But I mean, that's the plan.
Rock on, man. Rock on. All right. Well, because your phone's dying, I'm gonna let you go, man. I mean, I'm sure we could probably keep going, but I also see like the contacts are probably fucking with your eyes right now, and I know your pain.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So it's been good to have you on again after so long and not having you on. You know, and there will be clips of this. This will be going up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that shit, so you guys can listen to it in your cars and whatnot. Hopefully you guys got something meaningful out of it. Like, because I know that
the angry messages from fans now,
right?
call me king of woke or some bullshit like that.
I doubt it. Yeah, we didn't even get into the goth part of it though. But like, I mean, that was a whole other. Yeah, that was a whole other conversation. So, as always, guys, thank you all for coming out. You guys are fucking amazing. As always, hail thy fucking self. We'll see you in the next one. Peace the fuck out. And stream some fucking Dawn of Ashes music, guys. It's good shit. And you heard, I'm the one saying this.
Come see us on tour.
Yeah.
Come see us on tour. Everybody.
And I'm the one saying this. Kristof and Dawn of Ashes, I believe and I feel personally, are the most legitimate representation musically for the left-hand path. I said it, not him. I said it. So there you go. That's my word. Peace out, everybody.